Afternoon VC, Aris here with another video. Richard McCook's 10 more questions. This is the trilogy. I think I've done all of these. It was one of my introductions into the VC. So you're probably responsible, Richard, for this nightmare that's unfolded over the last 2.5 years. Got all the questions, taking this seriously. Got them logged. Yeah. Yeah, hello. Here we go. Yeah, got the questions logged. I'll tell you what, working from home, it's a blessing and a curse, isn't it? The old computer, it's a bloody nightmare, isn't it? Now, admittedly, I am using Mr. Patel's Wi-Fi from upstairs, and I have asked him if he can upgrade, and he just laughs at me. He's a lovely bloke, but he's refusing. But it's a bloody nightmare, isn't it? It never bloody worked. I rang IT help desk the other day, and I was like, my computer's not working, and they said, have you ever disabled cookies? I'm like, no, but I did once bite the legs off a gingerbread man. And then the line went dead. And it's just a nightmare. And every time I turn it on, it asks me to reset my password. And then the password's like always the wrong iteration, or it's not acceptable or something like that. And there you go again. Please update your password. Let's do it live. Okay, my penis. Not long enough. There you go. Absolute joke. So, honestly, pen and paper, that's where you want to go. I'm a milky tea in a world of goatskin lattes. But I got the questions here. Good questions as ever from Richard. Are you struggling for ideas? Do you ever struggle for ideas? I kind of do a little bit. I'd like to do a more holistic approach to music, really, in the way that it's affected my life. 'Cause I always think, if I did the top 10 things that music has brought to me, the actual physical music and the sound of it would probably be somewhere down the list. Britain is such a music obsessed country, I think, especially maybe it still is. Certainly when I was growing up, everything I did, go to the football, go to youth club, fights at pubs, whatever, it always stemmed from music. Holidays abroad, mental health, using music to help your mental health. You know, Britain was such a tribal country in the 80s and 90s. You know, you had the stragglers of mod culture. You still had some skinheads kicking about in the 80s. The football casuals, they were obsessed by music, sort of soul and electro. And you had the goths and that. And you go to youth club and they'd all pitch up in their own little corner and it would all end in mayhem. You know, I love things like that. And I think there's some videos to be made about that maybe. But yeah, I don't know. I try looking into it and then I go down a blind alley. But yeah, no, I think it's all far-reaching. Would you ever consider purchasing subscribers? I think I'm assuming that's kind of aimed at the monetization angle, because that's the only reason you'd purchase. If I purchase 400, which I don't know if you can do or not, that would get me over 1,000 subs. But I think people misunderstand it. Maybe the 1,000 subs probably isn't that hard if you're focused enough, because you could go on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. If I went on Facebook and said, guys, can you just subscribe to my channel? I think 30% would, out of the goodness of their own heart. That would get me over the line. But the killer is the 4,000. You've got to get 4,000 hours worth of views a year. And anyone in the VC will tell you that's difficult. I mean, I do one video a month and I get about 80 hours views for each video. I'd have to do then 50 videos a year to just hit the 4,000 mark. And I worked out that would get me about £15 a month, £20 a month. Well, if I'm doing one video a week, I'd have to be buying records, like 150 quid worth of bleeding records and quite honestly, the fun would go out of it. And this is only, I mean, this is just something to do to get away from the enduring misery of life for me. So yeah, no, I'm not going to buy 400 subs. Do you ever mention how much you pay for records? Yeah, I do actually. I think I do. I've done that quite a lot. I pretty much know the value of any record. I've been buying records for 40 years, and then so that's 80% of my life. And then once Discogs kicked in 10 years ago, which I look at, it's a bit of a, I pretty much know the value of every record. So I rarely overpay, and I'm happy to pay the right price for a record. But yeah, I'm happy to mention it. What genres do you not like? Would you ever show metal? I'm just not into metal. I suppose I don't mind the forefathers of metal, like Zeppelin and Sabbath. I mean, I don't own a Sabbath album, but I don't mind them. I like, what's that, Sweetleaf, I like that. Zeppelin, I've actually got 2 Zeppelin records, but I'm not mad on them, but I like the drumming, and the production's amazing on those Zeppelin records. But then I suppose the area I really struggle with is, say, take a starting point of AC/DC, moving on to new wave of British heavy metal like Iron Maiden or something like that, moving along to the LA Sunset Strip scene, Motley Crue, Van Halen, up to Guns N' Roses, that whole, it's not for me, Judas Priest, you know, I just can't, it just doesn't. But funny enough, I do quite enjoy watching metal. There's a guy called Metal Mickey in the UK. He's good. I watch quite a few metal channels actually. I am intrigued by metal culture because metal culture is quite enclosed a lot of the time. A lot of my friends are into metal, just love metal. So it's yeah, I'm intrigued, but I don't think I've ever shown a metal record, and I don't imagine I ever will. Do you ever flip through videos and just stop at a record you like? Yeah, I've been guilty of that. One person I didn't used to do that with, although he didn't show records as much, as Madam Sin. And I've just realised Madam Sin doesn't do videos. I didn't think I'd seen. And that was one channel I got so much music out of. And funny enough, yesterday I went to a record fair and I bought, because I'm pretty sure Madam Sin showed them doing played the 7-inch of them playing It's All Over Now Baby Blue, which as soon as I heard it, I thought it was amazing. I bought this, The World of Them, yesterday. It only goes for a couple of quid. Buy this. This is killer. And it's got It's All Over Now Baby Blue, Gloria, Mystic Eyes. Oh, it's amazing, this. And yeah, so yeah, I do tend to flick through a little bit, but there are some channels where, yeah, I do, you know, yeah, I wish Madam Sin came back, but I'm assuming he's disappeared for a bit. But shorts, do you do it? I don't do them really. I know. It's like anything. If people use the format in a good way, then I like it. If people are just showing records being played, they ultimately, I suppose, for me, if I watch a short and I think, oh, I can't wait to see the next one, then that's a good use of a short. And if I watch it and just think, I can't really see the point in that, that's not so good. I think Alan the Static Traveller had a good little run of about 3 or 4, which I thought I was really good, where he used to just do a mystery. He'd pick out of a shelf, he'd pick one random record, and then he'd give a 1-sentence kind of review on it, like either, oh God, get back in the shelf, or yeah, it's a killer, or something. That was brilliant, because I used to think, oh, I hope he does more of these, and he didn't. He only did a couple. But yeah, again, if they're good shorts, I like them. If they're not, or they don't interest me, nah, not so much. Community tabs, do you use them? I mean, I can't really engage too much in community tabs. They're all right. I've used it a couple of times just when I've been wandering about and I took a picture of a record shop, but they're all right. They're not really for me, community tabs. I'm not bothered one way or the other really. But yeah, I know Rob Walker does some quite funny polls on there, and again, Alan Static Traveller do some funny ones. But yeah, I'm not bothered either way about community tabs. Anything about your videos you don't like? Yeah, they're a little bit one-dimensional, I suppose. It's just me sitting here blabbing. I would like to, maybe do some videos out and about, but I can't be asked to edit. I don't, my motto in life is why pressure yourself. Really, I'm always trying to take the shortest route from A to B. That's really been my life philosophy. Yeah, I would like, because actually when I go out in record shops, I went to an Oxfam today and I had quite an interesting experience where a bloke's given me a record called Raw Sex, called Suck It, because he goes, I just don't want to put this on the shelf, and he just gave it to me, and it's out in band. It's a 90s house record, it's all right, and yeah, and I like to film things like that, but I just ain't got the wherewithal to do it, or the patience, so no. Anything about other people's videos you don't like? Look, ultimately, what people choose in their videos is up to them. I've got to say, I don't particularly like it when people overcomplicate it a bit with, they put an intro in. I mean, there are certain intros that I love, like Brian, Cosmic Vinyl. I mean, his intro's epic. And Bob Bradley, because his intros are good as well, because they kind of enhance the video. But, if someone's just whack some graphic on saying, Frankie Fudgeface's vinyl solution, and then you think, what are you adding much? I don't know. Don't call your channel the Vinyl Solution, by the way. That would probably get you cancelled. But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes people, I think, they use technology just because they can, and sometimes I think, if you look at the big channels like, I don't know, Vinyl Richie, Melinda Murphy, John the 6-inch Pianist, Michael 45, Norman Mass, they pretty much, Rob Walker, they pretty much just press play and record and crack on, and they get shed loads of views. So yeah, I think sometimes people come to the VC for a bit of sort of lo-fi. Really, if I want to watch Whistles and Bells Hollywood production, then I'm just going to watch TV, you know. But saying that, if people, you know, I think people like to challenge themselves as well, and like to see what they can do within the context of a 10-minute YouTube video. So I don't want to be too harsh, but it's not for me. And if I'm being brutally honest, I wouldn't know how to do any of it. So there's probably some sort of a guilt kick coming out there. If you stop making videos, would you leave them up and would you announce it? I would definitely leave them up. I mean, I've come to accept that Greg's the Bakers are not going to commission that statue of me outside. So essentially, this is now my legacy, and so I think I would keep them up, mainly because I enjoy watching them. I'm not going to, often I will spend a lazy Sunday just going through loads of my videos, dropping comments, thumbs up in them all. Would I announce I'm going? Now, my first instinct was to say no, because it's a little bit, are you okay, hun, innit? Like Facebook, Oh. But on the other hand, people are very kind and they drop lovely comments, and I feel that, they invest in your time. And let's be honest, we're all getting a little bit older, most of us on the VC. We're kind of in Sniper's Alley a little bit. So if you disappear for a bit, I think people want to make sure, A, you're all right. And I think it's actually quite a nice common courtesy if you are just going to disappear and people have invested time in your channel in the past, maybe to say, look, guys, I'm out of here. I've got a career in paintballing that I want to follow or something, and do that. So maybe I would, but I don't intend to stop anytime soon. And yeah, so there will be more videos to come. I've just pointed there. That's a problem straight away. Where's my cup of tea? Anyway, Richard, thanks for doing that, mate. Always enjoy your questions. Shame this is the last ever one, but I've enjoyed the trilogy, and I'm sure there'll be more videos soon. Bye now.